Hello, everybody. Hi. Welcome to kdmoonchild's world. This is Katie, and we are together here for another Saturday Solutions. Boy, it seems like I just do one and it's time to do another. These weeks have been going by so quickly this time. Ugh. And I keep telling myself it's because I'm getting older, but no, I really think time is moving faster. It just appears that way to me. Anyway, welcome. We come together here. It's a spiritual card pull. Once in a while, politics might creep in, but it's not a plan. As a matter of fact, it's a plan to avoid it. However, what you see here are my crystals in the pattern that I keep them in to keep my table charged. Obviously, I don't have the cards uh, pulled and ready to go yet. So why don't I do that and we'll get this show on the road. What do you say? Let's do this. Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for being here. Hi, everybody. Welcome to kdmoonchild's world. Welcome to Saturday Solutions. As I've said before, welcome to my table. Okay, took me a bit to set this all up. Only took a second for you guys, but anyway, here we are. Usual setup with a few changes, some new cards. As I'm going through and looking at my cards, I hear nyeh, nyeh, nyeh. I'm hearing the names of the cards of the decks, and that's how I know what to put here. So let's get started. I'm going to explain to you a little bit about what all you're seeing here because it is kind of busy. Yeah, I'm looking up there at my table, and because it's up close so you can see what the cards are, it's kind of full. All the stones are still the same grid. They help cleanse and purify my cards for you. So here we go. We have the 4 directions across here. We have north, south, east, and west. North are the mountains, as we would be on a journey, okay? Picture this in your mind. South are the valleys, the lowlands, okay? West is where we currently are right now. This is the sunset. This is the hot seat, if you want to look at it that way. I live where all the heat comes from the west as the sun is setting, believe it or not. That's the hardest part of the day. It's just before sunset. Like 2 hours before. This is our goals, our dreams. This is where we want to be. This is our promise of a new day with the sunrise. And yes, I'll interrupt this to tell you this is for entertainment purposes only. We are here to have fun. This is not to give you advice or recommendations on how to live your life. Maybe more like precautions or possible ways of perspective changes in how to attack or attempt your tasks this week. Okay, that said, we're going to go. You will see there's also other cards besides this cross. Here we have a message from Spirit. I am so excited to be using these cards again. I've had them for years and years. They're gilded on the edges, and the gilding is kind of starting to rub off. I used them for so much, but all of a sudden they didn't speak to me. Just like, ugh, get these things off me, and I couldn't shuffle them because of that. They would just cling and glom up together, no matter what I did to cleanse the cards. So they got shoved in a drawer and forgotten about for a while. The other day I was reading about the creator of these cards, Radley Valentine, and thought, well, why the hell aren't you using those cards? Pull those things out. So all of a sudden today, they've been sitting up on my shelf. Spirit told me today to use. So here we are. Apparently there's a very special message from the fairies, because this is the fairy tarot. And we got 2 cards. So yeah, I guess I was supposed to use them, huh? Here we go. Over here we have a message from our animal friends. We always get this little therapet card. And up here we have our message to keep in your mind. Maybe it might be an action, maybe a thought. I don't know. We'll see where that takes us. And once again, we have 2 cards. So let's get this show on the road. What do you say? We always begin with our current situation, which is the Mystical Shaman deck by Colette Baron Reed. Let's see where we currently are. Mindful messages are really wanting us to hear. Oh, coyote. Yes, how appropriate. It's a 3 card. This card, once again, we're starting out being mindful of the groups we're in and the people we associate and align ourselves with. This is also about growth and expression. And let me tell you, you ever hear a coyote express itself? But it's really interesting because I keep hearing the Native American expression, the trickster. That is what the Navajo and a lot of Native Americans call the coyote. Coyotes are so quiet, but yet can be so loud and annoying. And down here we have the new moon we just finished. But look at this full moon up here, coming on the 24th. It's a little clouded in. I think it's because it's going to have a lunar eclipse. But that lunar eclipse is kind of being overshadowed by 2 weeks later, the solar eclipse. Both are in this card by the color of orange. Interesting card. And this card is also telling us to stop being so focused on the future and look at now. Don't let what you hear make you terrified of something that could happen from months from now, that could actually happen months from now. Because anything can happen months from now. How strong is the will of the people? You know, there comes a point in your walking in your life where you have to have faith. Coyote always walks with his 3rd eye open, because coyote is adaptable in all situations. That's why the coyote, for the most part, is a solitary animal. But they can sound like there's 15 of them. And there's just one. Maybe a mate. Some juveniles that are still hanging out with the parents. Anyway, a lot of messages in this card. Don't be afraid of what's down the road. If you need a pack, stick with your pack, but be careful of the pack that you choose. If you need to be a solitary person, don't get too involved in your solitude that you forget your gift of expression. And if you keep this all in mind, you're going to keep growing. So, where are we going to be growing to? This is our goals. This is the sunrise position. And it is the Shaman's Dream deck. Oh, interesting card to be getting. It's from the Shaman's Dream by Colette Baron Reed. The lay of the land. Pardon me. We need our ancestors' wisdom. Look at that person. Pick the eclipse you want, and during that eclipse, do a ritual honoring your ancestors and be open, reaching for their wisdom. Something on the card. Reaching for their wisdom. This card is also understanding that your ancestral wisdom is already inside you. They've been giving it to you in your dreams lately. Have you noticed your dreams really active lately? Man, I can't hardly sleep. I keep waking up. It's like I get a download or something. Last night, yeah, I got a download. Holy cow. Anyway, I have the land and ancestral wisdom. Definitely reach out to your ancestors right now. They are the only ones who can tell us how to get through this time. They confronted this time in the past, and they didn't lock it down good enough. They made assumptions because of the times when a man's honor meant something. These times it seems like a man's honor is something to be laughed at in half the population. But yet they'll be the loudest to scream when they aren't being honored or respected. Anyway, this is a 7 card. If you want control of your situation, you need to reflect and assess on the possibilities. And the only way you're going to be able to see all the possibilities is to access that ancestral wisdom. Being open to it. Don't say it's just the old ways. There's something to it. There's a reason those old ways happened. They didn't have the technology we have. The technology we have, I'm going to say, is an interference. It's a deflection. It's a distraction from reality when too involved. They had that with the radio. And during their time of strife, if you had enough money to afford a radio, don't forget, they were coming out of deep depression, the Great Depression. If you had the money for a stereo, everybody gathered around to listen to it. Your neighbors, your friends, family members. When the president spoke and when news items happened. And that's when America was strong. We relied on each other for our clarity. Now we are having to rely on ourselves and those people who lived through it before. What they learned by working and doing so much for each other. We want to be able to help each other. and not be afraid of the motives of those that we're helping. So let's get a little map. This is the Enchanted Map deck, also by Colette Baron Reed. As we're going on our journey, whoop, upside down. Guess it doesn't really matter in this card what direction you flip it. We gotta hit rock bottom. Or beware of rock bottom. But don't be afraid of rock bottom, because that's an ending. It's the end of a cycle. It's completion and it's renewal. Plug into that so that you know how to get from the trickster, avoiding the trickster, being afraid of the trickster, having to pick the solstice for your ritual. Do both if that's what you choose. But know that no matter how low you get, if you do get to the rock bottom, if you land at rock bottom, there's nowhere else to go. That's a firm foundation to build back up again. That is the message from our ancestors. That's what they were doing. That's what they did, and that's what gave them their strength. The Great Depression was horrible. It was hard. But it made really strong people. And those that weren't strong hit rock bottom. And together they all had a foundation to build from. Don't ever forget that. And that just grew as time came to go to war. People were willing to work together. To help win that war. To do what it took to win the war. We don't ever want to have to be challenged that way again. So no, this is our challenge right now. Do we go there and extend this challenge? Or do we put a stop to the aggression? Aggression. Put a stop to the aggression. We all have the power to do that. We don't need the government to do it. We're connected as a people, as a collective. Together, we make a net of light. Okay. What do we need to know from Gaia about this? What do we need to know from the earth? These are the Native Spirit cards by Denise Lynn. Understand that this is all a cycle. And that's definitely a lowland. Look at that. There's a hill back here. You know, the higher areas are over here. Where we are, looks like we're getting ready to go into a labyrinth. This is a lowland. That's where the cycle of life happens. Understand, everything has a beginning and an end. And then it begins again. Does it begin again new? Or are you going to repeat the same patterns? This is a reminder also that every morning is the promise of a new day over here. From morning through nighttime is the cycle of life right before your eyes. Even the ancient people knew that. That's how they designed their rituals, their traditions, and the structures of their lives. It was in the understanding that everything starts and stops, including our earth that we live on. Yeah. Never forget the earth that we live on. To keep her green and alive and beautiful, what we have to do, we have to be mindful of her in every aspect of our life. What you purchase, why you purchase it, what are you going to remove from your life to make space for this purchase, and how are you going to dispose of what it is you're removing from your life? Are you going to put it in the garbage can so it ends up in the landfill? Or maybe try and resell it or donate it? It's all a cycle of life. If you need the money, sell it. If you don't, donate it to your favorite charity so they can sell it. It's all a part of being connected to each other and building back up, and holding our own so we don't hit rock bottom, but not being afraid of hitting rock bottom. Because rock bottom tells us what we need to go. Rock bottom is bedrock. That's the bones of this earth. That's Gaia's very bones. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Fear serves no purpose. It stops nothing. As a matter of fact, it manifests everything you're afraid of. Because if you focus on that fear, that's what you're going to feel. It's what you're going to manifest if you feel it. It's the same as praying it with feeling. So let's see what these two cards have to say about being up on this mountain. Is this a massive obstacle we have to go past, go through, go around, or move? First card we get, it's a 5 card. Starry Night, acceptance. Yeah, that mountain's right in front of you. And you're going to have to do something with it. Is that mountain an obstacle, or is that mountain a way up? Either way, it's going to be involving some conflict, some change, and you may even come across in some paths rocks that are very unstable. But understand, the light from the stars can be just as bright on a new moon as the moon can be, if you just accept what the moon is trying to say. Being afraid is like living constantly in a place of darkness. Can you see the stars above you? Those points of light? Focus on one. Completely focus on one of those lights. Don't focus necessarily where you're putting your feet. This is a climb. Okie dokie. If you cannot see those points of light to reach out to, then the first water you come to is the reflection pool. Look very closely in the pool. Look at yourself. Looks to me like in this card she's turning into a swan. Her reflection is of a swan. You'll be in the forest and it'll appear like darkness, so it may be hard to see those points of light, those stars, but you'll see them in the reflection in the waters. In your emotions, find stillness. If you're wanting to alleviate yourself from fear, you have to get quiet and become still, so you can find acceptance, so you can be guided through the night. Maybe you can bypass the worst part of the mountain. Maybe there is a cave that you're coming out of that has been a shortcut. And now this card is telling you all shortcuts cease. You have to find stillness, accept your situation, and look for the points of light for guidance. Those points of light are also your ancestors. It's all a part of the cycle of life. You can't see those cards very well. We'll just move them down. Now, find stillness and accept your situation. It's all a part of the circle of life. And yeah, it may seem like a labyrinth. It's supposed to. You cannot learn by being stuck following the trickster. You have to motivate and move out on your own. Who knows where this is going to take you? Talk to your ancestors. Also, I'm getting loud and clear, because this is the end of a cycle, we are at kind of a rock bottom. There's only one way out, and that's a new beginning. So if you want that new beginning, feel how solid under your feet. The end of this cycle is, know you are complete and be open to renewal. And this is how we climb out of here. The reflecting pool is a master number, 33. It cannot express more seriously. Watch the groups you align yourself with. Watch who you trust. Not all is what it seems. There are tricksters out there. Number 3, 33. Be careful of your reflection in the pool. Look deeper than the surface. You are like an onion, and you have to peel through the layers to get to your core. And that's all the process of this life cycle. My goodness. Quite a journey, huh? So now this is fun. This is a tarot deck. So what do the fairies have to tell us in this tarot deck? Oh, I'm to read them side by side like, okay. The story. Awesome. They're both spring cards, pardon me. And they go together. This, boy, do they ever. The 6 and 7 of spring. It came in reverse order, though. 7 of spring is telling you to be assertive. Don't look down from what you believe. Sorry, don't back down. You can't read. From what you believe. Courageously stand up for yourself. But don't be unkind in your mannerisms. This spring is a newness. It's where we start. This is the awakening. This is a message for what is coming for us. Okay? Don't be timid. It's not saying be aggressive. It is saying be assertive. Set your boundaries, know your boundaries, and don't back down from them. That's what this card says. And the 6 of spring, look at this beautiful night. On the unicorn, wow. This is wonderful news is on its way. Smart choices that bring rewards, success, and public recognition. So as this is coming in for you, be assertive. Don't be afraid. You're going to have to stand up for yourself. As you get recognition, you're going to be needing to stand up for your beliefs because they will be tested. You will be tested. And as you become more available and yet vulnerable, your light shines brighter. And you will be more of a lighthouse. So understand that you have to be assertive in your beliefs. And you have to have the courage to let others know that. But above all, you have to be assertive with yourself. Don't back down. You're worthy. If someone mistreats you, don't allow it. Quiet them and walk away. I didn't say attack them or yell at them. I just said quiet them. Sometimes just lifting your index finger up or putting out your hand and as in to tone it down. Sometimes that's all it takes. That's the beginning. Some people are going to be just so loud because of who you are and what you stand for. Let them talk as you're walking. Let them talk, but you walk. And you're not walking with, you're walking away. Or in this case, riding away. Thank you, Spirit. Stand up for yourself. Find your voice. And it's interesting because that's where the turquoise is. Stone for the throat chakra. Interesting. Well, at this point, let's see what our mindful messages are, what we need to keep in mind. There's 2 of them back here. We get up and out to heal the parts of me that feel hurt. I must feel every emotion as it has to come up and to come out. I don't try to push my lingering feelings away. I sit with them and feel them as I release them. That's an interesting card. Such an indigo color. Your third eye, it's a clarity card. And then after that, we get the together card. I love it. Because we are a part of a collective, we're all going through the same thing, believe it or not. Maybe not exactly the same, but our walks are taking side-by-side parallel paths. I love working together with others and how it makes once impossible dreams possible. I see there is strength in unity and how much we can accomplish together. Asking for help is not weak, it is powerful. So after you're all sitting in your emotions, if you're having a hard time releasing them, turn to someone you care for, you love. Someone in the collective can help you. There's always someone, but you have to reach out. The coyote cannot trick you away from the wisdom of your ancestors. If you are quiet and you accept your situation, which may be at rock bottom, but understanding where you are is a part of the circle of your life, do not be afraid, because wonderful news is on the way. Wonderful things are coming. So be assertive and stand up for what you believe so you can see what's coming in for you. If you hide, you can't see. It might not see you either. I know you are feeling hurt. You are feeling worried. You are scared. But please know, it is a part of understanding your feelings. As a light being, as what you were before you came here into this body, it doesn't understand feelings. So that's why it's here in this body, is to learn about feelings. And also to learn how to work together instead of fight each other. Okay, bunny, my bunny, my bunny, what have you got to tell us? As we're getting ready to leave. There's no rule that says you have to have everything figured out right now. Every step forward is progress. And no one ever said you had to do it in a particular date, a deadline. You set that deadline. And you know, it's not written in stone. It's movable. If you're exhausted, stop and rest. Get still. so you can accept your situation. Every step forward is progress, and sleeping and dreaming is just as much a step forward, if you need that to heal, as walking 1,000 labyrinths. Thank you very much. This has been a fun reading. Interesting. All these extra cards, but it really didn't end up being all that long. My little friend, the Positive Potato, has his outgoing message for you. He says, I may be a tiny potato, but I believe in you. So on this Saturday, go do your thing. But while you're at it, make kindness a habit to yourself and to everyone and every living thing around you today. I thank you so much for being here. If you like what you heard and what you saw, subscribe if you'd like to get more. If you are a subscriber, thank you very much for coming back. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you saw in these cards. Pretty powerful reading, I think. I have a lot to think about. Have a beautiful day and a beautiful weekend. I love you all very much. Thank you for being here. Goodbye.